looks like we are on to fan favorites, shout outs, and rants. With our tradition, we'll keep the same order. So, Matt Kelly, Karen Moore, Karen Woody, Jonathan Armstrong, Jonathan Marks, and then myself. Matt, do you have a shout out and or rant for us today?
I do have a shout out. I will keep it bipartisan. I want to give a shout out to two elected officials in this country who have done the right thing and are still persevering and sticking around, and we should give shout outs to them both. The first one is David Vallado, who is a Republican congressman from California. He is one of the 10 Republicans who voted in the House to impeach Donald Trump after the January 6th insurrection. Trump has then made it a personal pledge to try and oust all of the 10 Republicans who did vote to impeach him. Vallado is one of two who are still around on the Republican side. The other one is a congressman from, I believe, Washington, who his election is still too close to call. However, Vallado is going to win, and he is now stuck through and persevered two times that Trump has tried to take him out. And the other congressman I want to support or shout out to is a Democrat, is actually Congressman-elect Gene Vindman. If that name rings a bell, that's because he is the twin brother of Alex Vindman, and both of them were instrumental in the first impeachment. And indeed, Gene Vindman was the whistleblower in the first Trump impeachment, where Trump was trying to shake down President Zelensky to launch an investigation into Joe Biden on bogus terms. Vindman has suffered many outrageous slings and arrows since then from Republicans. However, he ran a very tough, close race in the Virginia 7th District to succeed another congressman who had retired. It was an open seat, and he won. So good to see that some people will still believe in the right thing and be able to persevere and be rewarded by the people for it. Didn't necessarily make that choice with the presidency, but at least in these two districts, people did make the right choice then. So I'll take what I can get these days.
Karen Moore, do you have a shout out and or rant for us today?
Yes, I do. And one of the positive byproducts of the mess that we're in right now is you just need to focus on joy and beauty in the world. So it kind of helps you refocus. So I'm going to stop my ranting about parking lots and all sorts. And it was really a big toss up. I mean, I've gone on really long walks by the Potomac River. It's just stunning weather at the moment. I've been to the Impressionist exhibit at the National Gallery. So a couple of other things, that the Edinburgh Zoo has a baby pygmy hippo that they named Haggis and live webcam. I mean, that will de-stress you. I saw the news the other day that Jeff Vinnick, who's the owner of one of the NHL teams, the Lightnings, has decided to sell the team, but put $20 million into a bonus pot to distribute among its 300 full-time employees with a minimum payout of $50,000. They're good people in the world. They're cute baby animals. There's natural beauty. There's art. There's music. And it may be the winter of democracy in America at the moment, but it's also winter in Colorado. And ski season is started already. And one of the wonderful things about skiing, at least for me, is that while I'm concentrating, I'm not killing myself. I cannot think about anything else. And it's really nice sometimes to have an empty mind. So my shout out is to just all the joy and beauty that does exist in the world.
Karen Woody, you have a very high bar to overcome.
I know. Mine was along the same lines here, which was going to be a shout out to all of the people on both sides of the aisle that participated as election monitors, pollsters, people that were working for at least 15 hours. I was there for only about 8 of them as an election observer. And it was such a thrill to see so many excited people come in, and so many, I'm in Charlottesville Hills, so many people were voting for the first time. And so it was a beautiful day at that point of the day for realizing that this is a really sacred, incredible thing we have. And also, not to make this also a rant, or not even a rant, it's more of a dirge, I guess it is. But I will say, I guess I'll call it a preemptive shout out to the bravery that so many people will have to show and will show. I mean, I woke up this morning to an email from the university president in this sleepy little town where I teach, saying that the LGBTQ Research Center had been vandalized and graffitied last night. So I think we are in for a very long, bumpy ride that's going to require a lot of bravery and a lot of allies being brave next to people who need a lot of support. So That's not the high note I wanted to land on, but I'll just echo Karen. You need to find the beauty and the joy where you can.
Mr. Armstrong.
I want to shout out to election ballot paper machine manufacturers. Now, I may have got this wrong, but I think that Fox News said in 2020 that none of those machines worked properly. And fast forward to 2024, every single machine worked properly. So they've gone from 0 compliance to 100% compliance in just 4 years. So I think we should give a big round of applause to all the gals and guys who've been working so hard over that 4 years to turn a disaster into a triumph.
Jonathan Marks.
Wow, that's tough. I do agree that we should look for joy and peace and, in the world. Life's too short, and we have to find a way. And I'm glad that I'm spending my hour and a half with you folks today. So thanks for that. But my shout outs to my son, my middle son, Dan, who's 9-0 as a football coach for Cherry Hill East High School. They're playing tonight in a pretty big game. So I'm supporting him, and that's why I have the X's and O's up. And my rant in the same sports vein is to the Philadelphia 76ers and Joel Embiid. How can this guy play in the Olympics, and then all of a sudden the NBA season comes around and he's sitting out? And I don't know about all of you, but when I go to a game and I spend all that money for a ticket, I expect those people to be there. And if they're not there, then I think the NBA should do something to make sure that those folks get some type of remuneration back. It's pathetic. It just is. It's absolutely pathetic. And I don't know that there's anything wrong with them. They really have been very quiet. They've been very quiet about it. I know the NBA is investigated, but something really needs to be done, because at the end of the day, it's just a show. And if I'm going to a show, I don't want to see the understudies. I want to see the people that we come to pay for. And I think all the fans do as well. So shame on you, Philadelphia 76ers. Shame on you, Joel Embiid. And NBA, you need to step in. Silver, you need to step in here and do something that's really hurtful to them, that's going to make them realize that this stuff should just not happen. And it shouldn't happen on any team.
I'm going to shout out to the Indiana football team, who is currently 7-0 for the first time since 1967. If they win tomorrow, we're recording this on Friday, they will go to 8-0. Now, tomorrow they play the University of Michigan, my alma mater. In 2023, Michigan went 15-0 and Indiana went 3-9. Tomorrow, Michigan is a 2-touchdown underdog against the Hoosiers. Obviously, the world moves in strange and wondrous ways. But the question I'm going to leave you with is a shout out on everything compliance, akin to the Sports Illustrated jinx.